Coach, just kind of seemed that it followed a bit of a trend of the last couple of weeks. Second half, the offense just really couldn't get the ball going, only the 6 points. Where does it kind of the deep dive into that begin as you go into the go into the bowl game and then into the offseason of getting the second half offense going?
We gave up 51 points. I'm not focused on the offense. I mean, it's that we win as a team, we lose as a team, and it wasn't our best performance, and I thought the offense gave us a shot to stay in the game, so those are things that we'll continue to look at, but I thought we played aggressively. I thought we, those are things that we'll look at as we keep going, but we kept the pedal down. We just didn't make some of the plays that we needed to and execute, and I thought their pass rush leaned on us as we went into the second half. So that was probably the biggest difference. Cam made some big-time plays in the first half that kept us really going, some fourth downs that were just incredible, and we didn't make those type of incredible plays to win a game. So, it's a lot of things that go into that we need to get better at and we need to grow from, and I think those are things that we will do.
For as good as the defense has been all year, it seems that third downs have kind of been an issue at times, especially third and long. They go 11 of 13 today.
Yeah.
How do you kind of address that as well and kind of fix that aspect of the defense?
Well, I just think it's disappointing, a little bit just in how we played in a couple of these big games. I thought we've been really good all season. Like, I'm not going to have one bad performance sour what I feel like we've accomplished over 12 games on that side of the ball. But they were one step ahead of us, every step of the way. And I thought they did a good job in their max protection game. They're willing to take the ball down the field more than anybody in the country, and I think they hit on a lot of those. And, obviously not being able to get them off the field, is a big issue besides the couple of takeaways in the second half. So I thought that was a big part of this game, and we just never got them off balance.
You can just speak about Leighton Smithson a little bit. It seemed like he was one of the bright spots offensively, had another really solid game, and it's just kind of progressed throughout the entire season.
Well, I just think it's development, it's confidence, it's, Cam trusting him more and more and his finding his feel for being a wide receiver in this offense. So I think he's going to be better and better, and that's one of those things where, I just think as you look down the future, we're going to have a big-time wide receiver. And sometimes you got to go through those growing pains of letting him make some mistakes as a true freshman out there playing. So, but I thought he did a good job, and I thought he was a bright spot tonight.
What would you say were just coming off the field, the primary issues you saw on those deep balls down the field? Was it communication, positioning, a combination of that and pressure? And what do you think was maybe most costly there?
I think they did a good job of scheming up some of our stuff, and it's back to kind of a little bit their Michigan State game plan, and they did some really good things to the nub side, and we obviously didn't hit him, didn't affect him. I think he's one of the best deep ball passers in the country, and I think he went out there and showed that again tonight. And he trusts his guys to go out and make plays. I think 11 was dynamic and made the big plays, and obviously those were some tough ones to take as we were trying to just get momentum in the game. We could never get momentum on our side in the game. We kept swinging, and it was big swings back and forth, and we just never got over that hump in the second half.
How much were you missing Armani Marsh in the secondary, and was that part of those plays?
Yeah, I mean, we got to it's not the way we want to send out the seniors. I can't even begin to put into words what Armani Marsh means to this program and what he means to this defense and what he means as a player and a person. It hurts me that he wasn't able to go out there and finish. Same thing with Kingston. Same thing with Bernard. Like, these guys were part of the original 4 seniors that came here out of high school and made it all the way through. It hurts me that those 3 guys couldn't be out there for their senior night in their last game in this stadium, and I just think those 3 guys and their impact that they've had on me, that they've had on this team and this place, to not be out there is obviously a big loss.
What were some maybe on those deep balls again? After what you saw in the first half and maybe some guys getting caught in one-on-ones, what was the emphasis? And at halftime, what were you trying to do to stop?
Well, I think the biggest thing we went into it trying to want to take away some easy throws and their zone beaters and play some man, and they were making more plays, so we switched to a little bit more zone, and I just think they kept us off balance. And I don't care whatever zone you play, as soon as when you go 40 yards down the field, it's going to be man-to-man in that zone. And like I said, they went up and made some of those plays. Besides the big one to open the second half, I think we had guys that are there, and we made some plays too, but they did a good job on double moves, especially early in that second quarter.
Jake, we heard from you last year about the thrill and of winning this thing. Now you feel the other side. Can you describe the disappointment for your team and yourself of losing this game this year as opposed to what happened last year?
Yeah, I mean, I told them in the locker room it should scar them. It should hurt, and scars are good if you learn from them, so there's no joy in there. And I remember the jubilation of last year, and, this isn't a game that we just game plan for 7 days. This is 365 days a year trying to outwork an opponent, and that starts tomorrow. So I give credit to their coaching staff. I give credit to their players. They went out there and they won the game. They out-executed us tonight. But it should scar us. It should hurt. Especially I was talking to young guys. They didn't understand what this means. So we'll bounce back. We'll handle adversity. We'll be resilient, and we'll come back tomorrow ready to go.
Yeah, Coach, 703 total yards allowed. I believe that's their all-time in program history. Can you touch on your defense a little bit and their performance today?
Well, I would just say it's obviously not good enough, and like I said, I'm not going to let one bad performance just sour all the good that I feel like we've done throughout 12 games, but, like I said, credit to them. They went out there and made the plays, and, obviously not where we want to be, so it's tough to take in this moment. We just probably hasn't played as well as a team. When the defense is rolling, we haven't scored. When we scored, we haven't had the defense moving. So, but we come in here as a team and win as a team. We lose as a team.
How do you take this game, flush it down, change the momentum, and go into the bowl game?
Well, I just think that's what football is, and that's being a mature competitor, and that's what our guys have been, forged in the fire, and that's what our guys are going to do. They're mature about it, and we'll wipe this thing. We'll learn from it, and I told those seniors in there we still got one more because we earned it. And, our guys will be ready to play. Now we just got to wait 3 weeks or so to get this taste out of our mouth. So we got to get healthy, give them some time off. Obviously, college football, we get into a recruiting phase, so we'll be ready for the bowl game.
Julian, go ahead, Julian. Given the way you guys have bounced back from adversity, especially after that losing streak earlier in the season, does that, I know you never want to find comfort in a loss, but does that give you some sort of peace of mind knowing that this team can do it for this final game here at the end of the season?
We can do it because of the character of the men in the locker room. It isn't just because of what we've been through this year. We never quit. We didn't quit tonight. There's not a single adverse moment that our guys aren't ready for, and we got great leadership in there, and we got a great senior crew. So, like I said, we'll be ready to play in the bowl game, and like I said, this one should hurt. This one should sting, and we'll have the ability to move on.
Coach, you kind of talked about it a little bit of not letting this one performance start with the season. Looking back on the season, you guys have had really competitive games, even leads against some of the best teams in the country. And, we talked about, how the defense did tonight compared to how it's done in previous seasons and how the offense has done, is kind of off of what Julian said, not taking solace in the defeat necessarily, but as you go into the offseason, as you go into the recruiting phase, is it, helpful to know that there are the pieces for, getting those wins and getting those success? They're there. And, it's just a matter of, making that one final push to put it all together.
Yeah, unfortunately in this game, there's no celebrating close, and we've been close in a lot of different games and against a lot of really good opponents. I think everyone realizes the Pac-12 might be the premier conference this year in the country. And, yes, we lost to 5 top 20 teams, okay? But at the end of the day, we got to do what we need to do to get over that hump. And it's about building this roster going forward, and I feel very great about where we're at 1 through 35. And we got to continue to build it 35 through 85, okay? That's what the next phase of our program is going to be. So we got a lot of young guys that are out there getting a lot of experience. We got a lot of those guys back, so we'll be excited for the growth of what this season brought for us.
Time for a few more.
Coach, wanted to ask about the fake punt you guys had. Is that something you guys have been saving this season, and just what you see on the execution of that play?
Like I said, this is a 365-day preparation. It's something Coach Whitworth found in the summer that even these guys did at Fresno. We felt very comfortable that they kept doing it throughout the year, and we took advantage of it. So great job by Coach Whitworth, and then we knew the right situation to call it, and we went out and executed it. So great job by Nick throwing it, and Dan was a wide receiver at one point. So good job by those guys executing the play.
Scott, go ahead. Did the Huskies do anything tactically today that surprised you guys at all?
Without watching the film, it's hard to the naked eye. I mean, you could look at, some of the double moves we were ready for, some of the shots. Like I said, we knew they would take it down the field, but they out-executed us, and I think their third down plan was really good. I thought they checked the sideline way more than they have. So I think they had plans to the looks that we were giving them, and like I said, I just felt today we were one step behind.
Coach, you've talked about the good in the last 12 games. Can you just touch on what have been some key takeaways for you as you've dived into your first full season as head coach here at Washington State?
Well, I just think, when you're building a program, sometimes you can't just get stuck in outcomes. And teaching these guys the process and what it takes to be great is something that's been very important to us over the last year. And it's got to carry over. And then now all that foundation that we've built, we got to be able to keep building on it. And that's the momentum that our program needs going forward, because I think today's world is a unique opportunity in college football, and this is a unique place. Okay, and I love this place, and I want to give everything I have to here in Washington State and those guys in that locker room. And but there's a mentality that I think we have developed that's going to take us into the long term, even though sometimes you don't get the results you want in the immediate moment.